Hogan has the reason why I know that TNA might be, on its way to being somewhat successful is because everybody's coming out and hating against it now, Spice. Now, if you're not relevant, people don't say anything.
Now, who's hating on it?
They don't even know that you're alive. Oh, this Jim Cornette guy, he's a real douchebag. He's been fired from everybody. Is he the goggled-up dude? He's the goggled-up dude that used to carry a tennis racket and be like real hoity-toity, and he was like a booker, an announcer, and a writer. He's always been in the business.
I haven't heard that name in a little while.
Vince fired him, and I guess he did a little stunt for TNA, and then they fired him. And when you get fired from TNA after having been fired from WWE, then you really do suck, because there ain't nowhere else for you to go, my friend. Competition's good in the wrestling business, but you have to at least keep a gig if you go through both of them. And they ain't got. That's how much you suck. I shouldn't even be giving this guy the time of day, but he ran it. By the way, he has his own podcast. This is via podcast. Jim Cornette's Opinions of TNA.
And it was almost like Hulk Hogan was saying, "Fuck all you people on the internet who said I couldn't get all my friends a job. The Australia tour sucked. I promised them bookings, so they're coming in here. Who cares if they're 50?
It almost sounds like he's the honky-tonk man, doesn't he, Spice?
The honky-tonk man.
I am so sick and tired of non-radio people. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. And I think everybody in this room pretty much agrees. And we didn't, for the longest time, we didn't want to think that it could happen. But I think either now or sometime soon, the Internet's going to be a very viable place for people to be able to be heard and entertained. But you have to have the ability to be able to entertain and be in the genre that you're trying to do. For instance, if you're not an actor and you're not, good at being on camera, then you probably wouldn't be any better of an actor or being on camera on the Internet. Well, the same for radio. If you're not a talk show host or in radio for a living on the real radio, whether it be terrestrial or satellite, then what's going to make it any better on Internet? The Internet's only a delivery mechanism for content, but the content has to be good. You have to be a professional in what you're trying to distribute.
Are you saying Jim Cornette and his wrestling show does not sound professional?
I'm sick and tired of these people who do not have regular radio shows or regular TV shows, thinking that because the Internet is this vast, wasteland where anybody can put anything up at any time, that they're now officially these big juggernauts and powerful, herd people because they have a little $10 microphone and some program that gives them the ability to go to Ustream or something like that and have some crappy-ass, quote-unquote, podcasting show. Now, I think that everybody in this room does agree, though, that if you are a broadcast professional and you have a facility like we do so that you don't sound like this.
It was a joke from Hogan and Bischoff when they're in the ring.
I got to think, Manson, that if we did an Internet radio show, that the quality of it would be the same as what they're hearing now.
It would be impeccable quality.
I should probably throw over to Dave. Dave, if we were to broadcast on the Internet, would the quality and the processing and our microphones and the tightness and the bumpers, would it transfer well over the Internet?
We would have the ability to use much higher bit rates and make it sound a lot better. For portability, people tend to make the files real squished down like we do for emailing, and that's why you get this crappy sound. But we would sound better right out of the box.
But I think that you when you, as far as squishing things down and compressing it, but if it's almost garbage in, garbage out. If you have bad processing mics and bad sound going in, no matter how much you squish it or not squish it or compress it, it's still going to sound crappy. So you have to have something going in order sounding good in order to come out sounding good.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And these guys are, going and buying a $300 podcast in a box set up from the local music store.
Right. Manson, I think in our relatively soon future, we are going to be a force to be reckoned with and as much as we're going to snicker at it, Internet radio.
Oh, I definitely think it's going to happen.
And I think it's going to happen in about 10 months. That we will be on, maybe where we are now, but also Internet radio. Jim Cornette, man, again, you have to be talented and have equipment and have a facility to be able to sound good in some other genre than thinking that your Internet radio show is going to be, 1, sound good, 2, funny, and 3, anybody's going to want to hear it.
Doing that interview together, they looked like two minor celebrities.
Minor?
doing a fundraising telethon for a hurricane benefit and stretching to fill time till they go to the next package, trying to make the phones ring. I expected Hulk Hogan to say, and George Bush doesn't care about black people. If you go back and look at the desperation on Bishaw's face when he said, and it's going to be great, he was trying to talk himself into it. I think they got...
Again, Hogan's premise, Spice. I mean, I'm not going to make it. I'm sticking up for, TNA and Hogan's kind of deal. But if they're not nipping at your heels and they're not talking smack about you, then you're simply not relevant.
Well, you also got to keep in mind, Cornette's got sour grapes. He was released from TNA on September 15th.
Oh, this past?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
So, he obviously has some differences with the company to begin with.
There, and they saw what they were dealing with, and they realized, wow, we've made a mistake, too. Thank God we got all their money. Then, the way that the show was shot, yes, they take television in a little small, insignificant soundstage in an amusement park. So what do? You show everybody that with every backstage clip of these stars coming up in limousines, pulling up in front of the picnic table and the fucking snack machine. That, to me, says Oscar red carpet all over the place. Then, oh, wait a minute.
Again, the only reason he would know about the infrastructure of TNA is because he just got released from there. That snack machine and picnic table was fine 3 months ago now, wasn't it? When they were paying your paycheck. You weren't bitching about it back then, and if you thought it looked hokey then, now, why didn't you say it looked hokey then and actually contribute instead of just being a lazy, stupid, no-job-having son of a bitch and just taking a paycheck like a lot of people do and not being proactive and trying to make the product better? That's what I got to say, right, Spice? Why bitch about how bad something is when you had an opportunity to make changes while you were there?
Well, the rumor with him was while he was there, he had differences with Russo, and he didn't like the creative team to begin with. So that was his whole thing.
Beer money, the Motor City Machine Guns, Sabin and Shelley, Rhino, they spent the entire show groveling, laying on their faces, being beat up by unseen opponents, while a corny, bad DJ,
me,
Bubba the Love Sponge, squats over him saying, these men have obviously been beaten up, and I think I know who did it. I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm not going to call them for it. You guys just stay there. You'll be all right.
You might be onto something
That's
there.
kind of what you did.
Hey, I'm a man.
That's the worst part.
How fake and phony and contrived. I saw more bad acting from both shows last night than I've seen in a year of high school plays.
I'm a little bit now hold on. Now, I'm a little bit worried that this guy's going to high school plays. Manson, that's a little creepy. If Jim Cornette shows up at your kids' plays, Manson, that's creepy.
Creepy.
Point Cornette, though. That's pretty funny.
There was no statement made.
They made a mistake by firing a guy. They should have let him just get on the air and start shooting. The Jim Cornette spin zone.
There was no change. There was no new talent exposed. There was plenty of old talent exposed, but no new talent exposed in any meaningful way. There was nothing different except a bunch of old guys who have been out of the business for 10 years saying...
Now, isn't that you? I mean, isn't that you? And if you were there and still employed, would you be saying the same thing? Just goes to show you how fake everybody is. You know what I'm saying? Either say, hey, listen, man, I'm here for the paycheck, having a good time, and then I'm going to be an asswipe on the backside and hate, or not.
We're going to do
what? That or this guy's taking wrestling way too seriously. I mean,
yeah, lighten up.
Here he is. He got let go.
I wish Hogan would call him and say, Cornette, lighten up, brother. It's a work.
Yeah, he's doing
a mark.
He's doing a podcast dedicated to a sports entertainment show.
Again. Fuck. Are they insane? What does it...
Are you insane?
He's worked into a shoot.
The old man ought to have come in and hit the ring. Bob Carter with a baseball bat. I would have paid to see that. This is what you're doing with my $30 million fucking dollars? As he cleans the whole place out. What the fuck? Can anybody tell me that was a way to make a statement about a new, exciting, cutting-edge wrestling promotion? We're making a change? They're making a change, all right. They're changing their Depends over to diapers.
Well, they made a change in September and got rid of you, and I think it's only just begun. They got to still continue to cleanse. Now, I guess this next 55 seconds, Spice, is all about how much of a hack I am.
Really?
Yeah. The difference is, Jim, you're right. Maybe I suck on TNA. I'll take that as your opinion. No big deal. But I don't do too bad as a radio host, and I got something to fall back upon. Let me just ask you, is that what you're falling back upon? You got fired from TNA. Maybe I'll get fired from TNA as well. But I got a nice little something to fall back upon. What are you falling back upon there, fag? You're falling back upon this? How much does this pay?